I have one question. Who's zooming who, honey?
And I'm like, come on through, Corky. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What,
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. First things first, because I know you all think that I'm ready to just get to fighting and arguing with you all, but this is not even what this video is about. This video is more of me opening up my comment section for discussion with you all who I fight with on uh, pretty much a weekly basis. We fight because you all are like, oh, you're a stand for Quad and this, that, and the other. And we just fight. I mean, most times it's pretty light natured and it's just, something that goes on. You all know that I'm a fan and all of that. And we just go back and forth and it's no real big shebang. Sometimes it does get very ugly. It gets very ugly because you have the stands for Mariah and they get started and then they get nasty and it's like a whole one of them beehive arguments. Well, they try to have it like that. But this is not what that's about at all. This is really, I'm not here to defend, to uphold, nor to really debate it. I'm here to have an open conversation with you all about some of the holes in the story, some of the past, and some of what we're actually seeing, and see what we all come up with. So, here's what's going down, allegedly. Okay, so there was an article, and it basically said that what we don't know as to why Quad and Mariah feud so much and the feud has gotten so ugly was the fact that Quad doesn't like Mariah because Mariah has dirt on her. And the dirt actually involved Lake, Mariah's sister Lake, actually jumping on Quad and whipping her ass, all about Quad sleeping with Lake's husband. And supposedly that whole thing of Quad sleeping with Lake's husband and her jumping on Quad actually led to the demise of Lake's actual marriage. Now, this all supposedly happened before Married to Medicine ever actually hit the air. So we got this situation where you got Lake and Quad at odds with each other, and then Mariah and Lake are sisters. Mariah and Quad are best friends. So there's contention there. So that's sticky, right? That's a whole sticky situation. I have no idea whether Quad actually did it or she didn't do it. And really don't care. Really don't care. One way or the other. But here's a couple things. If it's so that Quad actually did sleep with Lake's husband, that would kind of explain some of why Lake can't stand Quad. That would explain some of why Shoot Lucy can't stand Quad. That would make sense. That would make sense because Lake seems pretty bitter. She seemed pretty bitter. So I could imagine, and I wouldn't even be able to fault her for being bitter. Don't nobody like no bitch that just slept with their husband, and then that infidelity in turn supposedly ruined the marriage. No, I don't like that bitch either. Okay, and I can imagine that my sister wouldn't like her. Okay, but here's one of the holes in the story. When we first met Claude and Mariah, it was all good in the hood. Miss Claude, she got it. She got it. Oh, yeah, Mariah. And they were Ace Boon Coons, they were two peas in a pod, honey. Running around getting on everybody's nerves. Because they actually used to get on my nerves back then, too. When they first came, baby, I was like, ooh, these two, honey, I can't with, they was giving me Beavis and Butthead teas, honey. I couldn't at that very beginning. All of that, that used to get on my nerves. But I could still see the good points in the both of them. And that's the funny part is when everybody got into this whole big thing about me and Mariah. If you remember, I liked Mariah in the beginning. I didn't stop liking Mariah until later on when she actually showed herself with her and Quad's fight. But in the beginning, if y'all remember, and y'all can go back and pull up the reviews because they're all there, I couldn't stand Toya. I couldn't stand Toya because of what Toya did to Mariah. That's just a little bit of James history lesson for you. I was not on the hate Mariah train until the stuff happened with Quad and Mariah, and it didn't even have anything to do with me standing for Quad. If you go back and watch the videos, I'm going to tell you what's right and what's wrong. Period. And I'm going to always side with what's right in my mind. When the shit happened with Toya and Mariah, I sided with Mariah because Toya was out of order. And I've never liked Toya. I didn't like Toya, never cared for Toya, never went to a point where I really liked Toya. I didn't like her. There was a piece of her personality that I thought was very flawed and did not mesh with me as a person. So I don't fuck with Toya. Same thing happened. Once all that stuff was over, we moved on. And then the fallout happened with Mariah and Quad. I didn't care for Mariah's part in it. I saw another piece of Mariah that was not to my liking. That wasn't to my liking. And then there was a little Twitter situation between myself and Mariah. Had not a goddamn thing to do with Quad. Because I said I didn't care for Mariah's position. Mariah attacked me personally. So there you have it. If you just jumped on the bandwagon and trying to fight with me and say, you standing for Quad. No, baby, I was standing for James. James doesn't care for Mariah because Mariah's stupid. She came and she attacked me on Twitter. I didn't attack her. I didn't say anything to her. I wasn't following her ass. She attacked me personally. So I've always been a stand for James. It was a fight between me and Mariah. We had our own little thing going on. Not me standing up there for Quad. Quad can stand for Quad. Just a little bit of a history for you all. But anyway, so my thing is, this is another piece that would further perpetuate why I wouldn't fuck with Mariah. Some fake, you're some fake bullshit. So you're telling me that you were pissed off with this girl about her sleeping with your sister's husband, your brother-in-law, and ruining their marriage, yet you didn't actually start falling out with her as a friend until 2-3 years later, because it was for the greater good, I guess, to get the show off and running. How'd that work? So you mean to tell me that you was hating a bitch for 3 years almost, but you was sticking up under her, pretending that y'all were best friends? Is that not a character flaw? Is that not a character flaw? Who the fuck pretends to be best friends with somebody for years? Holding on to something like that. And then you fall out with them later. And then you're not saying that they did anything else specific. Because it would be different if I forgave you and then we tried to move on with our friendship and then you did some other shit and then I had to get mad at you, like if she'd have fuck Lake's husband and then turn around and fuck Lake's new boyfriend, then okay, bitch, now, you know, but that's not what we heard. We didn't hear anything like that. Now, do I believe personally that some of this might have some truth to it? I don't know. I don't know. But it did just pop up all of a sudden. And then they said that Mariah didn't want the story aired. She actually asked the publication not to actually put that out, but they put it out all of a sudden. All of a sudden. I'm just having a hard time because I don't believe most of what comes out of Mariah's mouth. I really don't. I don't believe most of what comes out of her mouth because we've seen her lie in the past many times. We've seen her lie. We've seen her contradict herself. We've seen her crisscross stories to what she thinks is her betterment, but it ends up being her detriment for the most part. We've seen her do these things. Like this last week, we've seen her do it. We watched you break the flute on the end of the table in preparation to shank Dr. Heavenly, yet you sat in a live interview on the night that the shit aired. And you seen it a few days before. And said, oh, I don't remember doing that. Bitch, we sat there and watched you. We watched your punk ass break that flute and get ready for Heavenly. We watched you threaten to shank her and cut her up in pieces. We watched you. So she just not a credible source for me. I don't believe much of what comes out of her mouth. But this is sticky. This is sticky. It is. It's interesting. But again, it for me personally. It further adds to. I don't care for Mariah. I wouldn't fuck with Mariah for love or money. I don't trust her at all. I wouldn't walk to the end of that fence with that bitch. I wouldn't do it. And I watch her, even the way she sets Aiden up to do stuff. That's all. Aiden ain't even got that much gumption. Aiden not that smart to do some of the little shady, sideways shit that he does when he opens his mouth and do shady shit. That is all gonna have Mariah written all over it. She just not my kind of people. But yeah, and I still stand by the fact that I do think that she victimizes Quad. Now the question is why? Why does she victimize Quad? Because even going all the way back to when they first fell out, I just can't. I don't see a reason. This is actually the first reason that would actually hold water in a glass as to why she started being shady to this girl. Yet she has always been shady to her. Even if you go back to the first episode when they first started, when this shit first aired, Mariah was shady as fuck to Quad. She's talking about this is my best friend. She was telling the people she wasn't shit. She was basically a lower class gutter bunny that she was trying to help get some class and learn how to be a wife. This is all the things she said before she introduced her to these people, if y'all remember. And then she brought her to Carrie Wells' house, and they sat around, and Carrie Wells was already filled up, already had the battery in her back from her good friend Mariah to basically shit on Quad. And that's what she did in that first episode. But we ended up falling in love with Quad because what she ended up doing was reading Battery Back Susie to the ground. And we ended up falling in love with Quad. And Mariah had a little bit of contention there, and then it just went from there. But from the very beginning, Mariah has sideways shaded Quad in our eyes right on that television. We watched it. For 6 seasons, we have watched her. She did that. She did that. You cannot deny it. You can't take it away. You may not like the way Quad acts. She may get on your nerves. You may not like her voice. You might not like the way she looked. You may think she's fake. You don't like the way she treated Gregory. All of that. But you cannot negate that her so-called best friend has always not actually been the type of friend that you would be calling a best friend. She's always, I'm here, she's here. Oh, come on, girl. Yeah, that's my best friend. Come on, girl. Oh, she's a bum, honey. Come on, girl. That's the way she's always been. Their friendship has always been that way as long as we've known them. Now, with this story coming out, that kind of, it makes the story have some validity. It might be true. You know, you can see it being true because why did she always treat her like that? But then that, again, it has to do with that whole thing. Like, how did we really feel about Mariah? Because you literally pretended like this girl was your best friend. And you told me she ruined your sister's life. How do you have her? How do you have someone around you for years who ruined your sister's life? Like, and you feel like that? How does that work? But anyway, that's what this. It's like I said. I'm not defending Quad. I'm not saying that the rumor is not true. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm just putting out there. This is where I'm left. I'm questioning all of it. Like, whoa, what is really? And there were actual, well, allegedly there are these court documents of an actual altercation between Lake and Quad. So there actually was a fight. There was an actual fight where they said that Lake went over to Quad's house and they had some words back and forth, and then Quad supposedly spit on Lake, and Lake cold cocked her, hey, and crashed her in her motherfucking face, honey. So now that's supposed to be court documents of that. So, but I don't know. Are they real court documents? Are they not real court documents? Was there a fight? Wasn't there? Did Quad get fucked up? Lake running over bitches' houses, jumping on them and shit? Really? I don't know. Does it seem that far out of character? Come on, we've seen Mariah and Shoot Lucy. They are a fighting family. They're a fighting family. They like to hit. And you know, Mariah done hit Quad this season. And we know Quad ain't for all that. She ain't for all that fight. Lisa Nicole threw shit on her, and she didn't, you know, she kept her composure and didn't fight back. So, you know, she believes and she'll sue your motherfucking ass. So I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I don't know about all that. I've never understood that type of restraint. If you hit me, I'm fucking you up. I'm fucking you up, or you gonna fuck me the rest of the way up. I can't stand under that type of pressure. I'm not built that way. Oh Lord, honey. Drinks and faces and smacks and hits and oh no God, honey. Because me and Mariah would have tore Heavenly's house up. I'd have had to leave there giving her a credit card. Because there's no way. We've been feuding for 3-4 years, and you touch me, period, bitch. Somebody would have been. Somebody called the policies, honey, because baby, I'd have been windmilling down, honey, windmilling down. And let me add one thing that actually stuck out to me: the way that Gregory acts. Why has Gregory never said anything? That's odd to me too. That Gregory never mentioned this and all of this shit that's gone down, even with this whole him and his cheating escapade and allegation and all that. He hasn't mentioned this. He hasn't mentioned this. And that's not his character either. That's, you know, his character, he real bitch like. And he throw everything out there, some shit that ain't even true. Do you really believe he sat on the fact that Quad cheated on him with Lake's ex-husband and never said nothing? Even now with the divorce hot and heavy, all of it, his visit down to the V103 and all that stuff, and haven't said anything? I don't know about that, y'all. What y'all think? And as I said at the beginning of this video, who the fuck is zooming who here? I don't know. It was just I really don't know. Child, is this whole thing literally is giving the Zoom challenge. It's giving Zoom, honey. What the fuck just happened here? So open the comments, honey. You all tell me what y'all think. Who do you think all that got zoomed, honey? Is it us? Or is it Quad? Or is it Mariah? Or is it Lake? Or shit, Shoot Lucy? Or shit, was it the ex-husband? Child, who the fuck got zoomed around these parts, honey? Down to the medicine bar. Hit them comments. I can't wait to see what y'all got to say. Can't wait to see what y'all got to say. Later.